Greetings, welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and other forms of rock music. Today's episode is from my strange Fascinations. This is episode 20, which features Ann Wilson of Heart. So Ann Wilson, for me, I discovered Ann Wilson, well, actually I discovered Heart, but basically I heard the voice of Ann Wilson on the radio and said, wow, that woman's voice is something else. And then I found out who it was, and I went and bought Little Queen was the album I got. I had Little Queen and Dog and Butterfly. Those were the two I had. And I listened to them quite a bit. And kept thinking to myself, wow, this girl has such range for such a young person to have such range. She didn't really get all the attention that a lot of other female vocalists got, but definitely she belongs up there. Now she gets a ton of attention, probably more than she deserves, but that's just the way it goes. Somebody, once they discover you, you just take right off. So, and then I discovered the album, their greatest hits, and she did some covers on there, and one of them was Tell It Like It Is, which was a song that my parents liked quite a bit. So when I played this album, they liked that song. When I played that song for my mother, and she says, oh, I don't know this song, but this person sounds totally different. Yeah, she sounds good. Anyways, I became a Heart fan because of her. Not just because she was such a beautiful woman, like just outstandingly beautiful, but it was her voice. It really was. It still is. She still has that voice. You know, it just amazes me how some artists, John Anderson, Ann Wilson, those people can maintain a voice like that, and then others, Ian Anderson and Paul Stanley and them, just can't handle it. They lose it. I'm not really sure what the cause is. I think in the case of Ian Anderson, it was because of he damaged his voice by pushing it when he wasn't well. Anne actually had something of this happen to her too. Later, I think she had a problem with her voice, and then she pushed it and damaged it slightly, but it didn't remain that way. She was able to recover from it, which is great, because she still has, at, I don't know what she is now, she's got to be in her 70s, but she still has that voice, you know, just fantastic, and such a personable voice too. I don't know if that makes any sense to people, but I just feel like when she's singing to me personally, and you don't always get that from vocalists and people in general. You know they're singing, and you know that she's even just singing, and it isn't about you or anything, but you just, from her, I just get that feeling when I'm listening to her. So yeah, big influence. She was the first one who I kind of started thinking about how vocalists are perceived in rock, unlike the musicians, like the guitarists, the drummers, and the bass players and all that, who are rated based on their abilities. Who's better, who's not better, who's the better guitar player, who fits this genre, right? All those kind of things happen. She was actually the first one that made me realize that vocalists aren't usually generally not rated that way. They tend to be rated, I think, more on themselves and their abilities. Like they're either really good, or they're not so good, or they're terrible, or something like that. But they don't generally say, oh yeah, that guy's a great vocalist and he's much better than this guy. I mean, it does happen, but for the most part, I think it's just you're either respected and liked as a vocalist, or you're not, And then, of course, they talk a lot about how some of them had great voices, and then their voices went down the hill, and then they should just pack it in and stuff like that. But I'm not a huge supporter of that, because Ian Anderson's voice has been damaged, and he doesn't have the voice he used to have. But on his last album, he wrote the music specifically designed to tailor to his voice so he could sing, and I think it fit very well. So there, just because your voice is gone doesn't mean you can't still do it. Anyways, Ann Wilson, fantastic singer. If you haven't had a chance to listen to her, she has a range that is fairly unrivaled. Maybe Freddie Mercury. There's a few others too that I think have maybe better ranges, but not very many of them. She can do that deeper voice, and she can do those really out of the stratosphere high parts too, and nail them without it seeming like much effort. That was always what impressed me the most about her and had the biggest impact on me. It was her ability to vocally reach for elements that few people can do. So there you have it. Ann Wilson, legend, great vocalist, huge impactful person, made me think about vocalists, and actually put the vocalist in a category that I never thought of them as musicians, and now I do, but not in the same vein as other musicians, but very important. They're generally, the vocalist is the front man of the band, the leader. So however good your front man or your vocalist is usually how far you go. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like it. Please subscribe as well. It's much appreciated. And we'll be back tomorrow with yet another episode of My Strange Fascinations. Bye.